16-206. New business to be considered and acted on. 16-206. Consider and act on a motion to retain the services of Hessler Associates, Inc. of Haymarket, Virginia, to perform a noise emissions and abatement study and to appropriate the sum of $25,000 from the debt reduction fund, account number 3880.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. 16 dash.
Mr. Pacheco.
I'm sorry, I just got out.
Oh.
Go on, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Cynthia Kropick again, 700 Cherry Farm Road. Question, do you have the letter of engagement?
Not yet. We have we'll enter into a letter of contract after this is authorized.
Would that be something we'll be able to do?
Sure.
It'll be on Burrillville's page?
Sure, I guess so. I've seen a
It's
reason.
nothing that would be,
No
that would
confidential.
affect.
No, it's not a
anything.
confidential thing.
Okay, thank you. So is this in addition to, I know that Hessler Associates is one of our experts, correct? Correct. So is this an addition, or is this just a payment? Or is this more services?
No, he's been hired. Yeah, Hessler's was hired to do the power plant too. If they did Ocean State Power, that would be the other one, but they haven't done anything there.
Okay,
And this is separate, but it's under the same schedule, under the same payment schedule, but it's a different project under the same jurisdiction that the council hired in the beginning.
it's the same project having to do with Invenergy.
More of a, well, it's
expanding, right?
Well, you know, both are involved, so having him involved in Invenergy and this together
And
makes
Spectra.
sense.
And Spectra.
Spectra is separate.
Okay,
This is a separate entity, separate issue. However, it does affect the power plant situation because the combined issues on site are a major issue for Spectra and for FERC. So this here is to set up a baseline study of what's going on the site before they actually start the process of Access Northeast.
Yep.
So we have a baseline for in place, working with them if Spectra allows us. This is the one caveat. We have to have access to the site. The Spectra has to agree to allow us to do it along with them. And then we can get a baseline to be able to fight our argument at FERC.
so Spectra has to allow the consultant,
Well, if it's on site, what we're doing is going to mirror, we're going to basically do a parallel study to the
Right.
studies that they have to do. The letter we sent in requesting all that
Right.
stuff, hopefully that will happen.
Okay.
Our people will be there to do a parallel study so that whatever they do, we legitimize or not. But if it's on their property, we can't force ourselves onto their property.
Just go to Mrs. Sherman's house.
Yeah.
No, no,
but you as a
just to
We've
answer,
been up there, you do realize
There's
that.
gonna be-
I don't know if you know all of us.
I do.
there's going to be noise sensors all over the place, on the site, near equipment, off-site, in different places, as I understand it. So part of it has to be on their site. So we need to access their site to do it.
So they do realize that this is a business and you are the town council, they reside in this town, therefore if they don't abide by these rules, then you can deny them some of these
Well,
things.
you know what, if they don't cooperate with us, I think there'll be a big problem. They'll find a bigger problem than they already have.
Okay, so the noise level is just basically what I'm hearing is the sensors are going to be there in conjunction with the Invenergy project.
All of the things that go into the noise.
So are they going to consider, because I understand the big problem here with Spectra and the noise level, it's unacceptable. But we also have to be concerned about the rest of the citizens in this area. We have to start worrying about the octave band, which will affect all of us that live in this town. Is that part of the study?
The Spectra plant, some of the residents have talked about the rumblings and bumblings in their houses. That is the equipment that Spectra basically has on site. That is the problem that relates to the problem out in the community, as I understand it. That is part of the study, and that would be part of the evaluation.
So what is the other part of the study? That's what I'm trying to get at, Mike. Maybe
Whatever
I'm not
the-
understanding what you're saying. I understand the Spectra piece of it, like you just specified. What I'm asking you is, you told me before, stated that it is in conjunction with the Invenergy.
Well, I didn't, what it is you have both on site. If the Invenergy thing gets approved, they're going to be part of they're going to be part of the noise making that's on the entire parcel.
Absolutely.
So this will be something to set a baseline for whatever noise is there now. So whatever, if Invenergy gets approved, there will be a baseline for that whole area, a sound study based on what's there now. So if Invenergy, for instance, comes in and it cannot stay within those boundaries, once the Spectra stuff is included, we have a baseline to make our, to enforce the laws that we need to enforce, or we need to go to FERC to enforce the laws. So that's what the idea is. It's primarily for Spectra, but it certainly will help with the Invenergy thing if the Invenergy thing gets off the ground.
There's been a lot of talk of the cumulative effect of the noise up there with the sites, and so this is important for us to get this baseline to understand, because Invenergy is already saying, well, Spectra's machine's going to be, they're going to be newer, it's going to be quieter. It's very important for us to understand, as the Spectra process moves along from now until whatever they do with their expansion, we need this information, because Invenergy is already saying, if you read some of the stuff that's been coming out, it's going to be quieter.
You got to look at the law. You got to look at this law.
So we need to do this. This is important for us to do.
Something in place now to set a baseline for what's going on there. With the Spectra, we're going to try to advocate for them to change out equipment so it's lower noise emitting. Those lower octave bands are eliminated if they can do it.
Right.
That would be the objective with Spectra. With Invenergy, again, you'll have the baseline of noise that's coming out of there.
Currently there.
If they add Invenergy, you'll be able to see what happened when they add Invenergy.
We don't want to see that, but,
I understand that. Our job is to look long-term as well as short-term, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not endorsing anything. We're just basically saying we're going to do this now to make sure we have something we can use to deal with the problem if it happens later on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Sherman, Walnut Lake Road. Well, we have a say of when the noise study is, because remarkably, it's not all that noisy right now. I know, this is my first time. There is something different. There's something different that's going on there. Now, I know Ocean State isn't operating full right now, and according to the ISO New England, it's because there's no need for energy right now. That's ISO New England, that is not what, that's their webpage that says that. It says it on their webpage. So there's something where it's not as noisy. It started a little bit yesterday where you can hear it. There's still a vibration. There's something, I think some machine or something that's running up there, because the vibration is a little different. So my question is will you have a say of when we do this study? Because of course you're going to want to do it when there's noise.
Can I ask you a question? When it's quiet, like you just described, for what period of time is it quiet?
It's only been, I want to say maybe the last week. It's only been a week.
Mr. Hessel recommends, I believe, 30 days worth of monitoring.
Oh, great.
And he believes that it's Spectra that's emanating the low octave bands that are causing the shaking problems that you're experiencing, whereas the power plant will be generating dBAs more so than octave band. So we're looking at both.
There's continuous monitoring and intermittent monitoring. Right now, the town only does intermittent monitoring. We do that. We can't be there 24/7. Part of this will be continuous monitoring at different places, which will catch situations that we can't, unless you call us up and tell us.
Which I will. Which I will. If you're going to do I don't notify the police anymore, because I just don't do that. But the other question that I had is like if the noise testing is going to be the baseline, is that going to be used? Because as I'm sure you know, Invenergy did a noise study for 3 days in April.
So this is.
They haven't, it's in their application.
But this is 30 days, so
Right.
certainly, I would think any reasonable person looking at this is going to say 30 days differs from 3 days.
We're
and-
finding more and more reasonable people. We really are. There really are more and more reasonable people not believing what Invenergy is saying with some of theirs. So I just, if we could consider the time frame in 30 days, we'll
Once we know more about what can be done and when it can be done, we'll let you know. I just, at this point, it's early in the game. I can't tell you specifically what's going to happen when, but when.
And I wouldn't want them to know either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, you know what, because
That's the problem with the public.
yeah.
But we need to
You don't
authorize
want them
this
to
to
shut
be
it
ready
down.
to work
Right.
on it.
Right, okay, and I will let you know if it gets noisy and if it's in that time frame. Thank you for the clarification, and thank you for considering doing it.
Okay.
Just one more question to follow to Kathy. Cynthia for Pick Again, 700 Cherry Farm Road.
Can hear you, that's why.
So do we know when you're going to start the testing?
No.
So does Spectra know? No, this is a cat and mouse
But if we
game,
keep
right?
discussing it and trying to give out details in a public meeting, we might be setting ourselves up.
I know,
to
I'm just
slow down.
asking you, because you don't have to give me dates or time, I just asked a vague question, are you testing now? You said, no, that's great.
Here's what has to happen. The letter the council sent in back in February, was it, or March? Basically has to be accepted, which it's been accepted, and they're going to have to initiate, hopefully, the noise testing that we requested them to do. This is Spectra.
Right.
The intent is, once that's done, we will marry it. We will send our people in, we will monitor whatever they do, we will put our own equipment in if necessary. But all that has to be decided, and it won't be decided until at least the process gets formally going again, which is in the fall. And I don't know when that'll happen. And if-
Okay, that's fine. So will you do it consecutively, or will you bounce it around in a month or two to give it a little bit of flavor?
Well, I don't think we're going to do anything that lets Spectra know what we're doing. We're going to try to be,
Okay.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We wouldn't do that to say, here, we're going to.
Well, they can see you putting the equipment there.
Well, we're gonna, it's continuous monitoring and it's intermittent monitoring, so they can't get away with anything. If it's continuous monitoring for every period of time, they're gonna make noise, they're gonna make noise.
Plus, it takes a period of time to shut down, doesn't it? And to
Yeah.
start up again.
Again.
So even if we are there and they see it, it takes a little bit of time to.
They can't, I think it would be fine, it's just a matter of coordinating it. This guy knows what he's doing, he knows when the times to do it would be.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is you want an accurate reading. You know, if they're down and they're not operating, you're not going to get an accurate reading.
Right.
And your baseline is going to be incorrect.
Now, we understand that.
Usually, I would expect that data to be included either before their conclusion in the report or after it, you know? If they put their conclusion first, then they're going to look at all the data that they relied on and the times and the intermittent frequency and what have you to support that conclusion.
Thank you. We had a motion in this.
Mary Ryan, 544 Victory Highway.
I read through the transcripts, and I don't know if all of you read through them, of all of the hearings. I don't know if you have access to them, which if you don't, you might want to get access to them. But inside of them, they mentioned the sound and the levels, and that they're not going to be, there's an exception of some sort that they're going to request. So I thought maybe I'd, let you know that if you don't.
We've got our experts reviewing everything that they've submitted in their statements, and we've been in constant communication, so we're addressing everything.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't, I'm referring to the actual hearing testimony. And I got a copy of that from Todd Bianco, so he was able to forward the entire transcripts of all of the, all of the hearings. And that's where it was said, so, okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Mrs. Ryan. Okay, we had a motion on the floor in a second, and we voted, everybody's good, okay. Okay, moving on.